Hello, I'm Cabalabat and welcome to episode 13 of Rule the Waves 2, playing as Japan, and the year is 1930. We're not at war with anyone at the moment. If you look at our battleship construction, we've got 4 good ones with 15 or 16 inch guns and another 4 that are not so good that have got 12 inch guns. Let's look at the almanac. Looking at the almanac, we can't really fight a war against Germany because they've got more battleships than us. They've got a lot more battleships. Same for Britain and for the USA. We could fight a war with France, and we could also fight a war, or rather win a war, against Italy. Looking at the map, we're in range for those 2 French colonies, which we'd very much like to take. If we got all the French colonies, that will give us quite a lot of expansion. So I think our next victim wants to be France. So I'm going to reduce the intelligence effort on Britain, increase it up for France so that we can engineer a war against France. I'm also going to put a lot of our ships into mothballs in order to save a bit of money. And with the money saved, I can now, with this balance, I can now upgrade some more of our battleships. So let's look at the Potawatomi. So with the Potawatomi, we're going to rebuild it in the USA. It's going to have advanced directors. It's going to have, we're totally upgrading the AA armament. That's going to have AA directors, medium AA guns. Because the torpedoes are now surface mounted, it will be easy to aim them at enemy ships. So that's going to be 4 months at 1,600. Let's do that. We've got some money left over, so let's have a look at the next one, the Saharan. So the Saharan is very similar in its upgrade. We're going to give it an advanced director. We're doing this in the USA. We're going to give it the new torpedo mounts and much better anti-aircraft armament. So that's 1,600 a month. Let's do that. And that's pretty much got our budget done. So let's play the next move. Right, shipboard airborne operation, better aircraft handling practices. So that just makes our aircraft carriers a bit better. Well, that's good because we're building one. Do we want this technology? Yes, we do. Or rather, do we want to sell this technology? Yes, we do. We've now got AA director on ships, which is good. Valuable insights into US machinery development technology. And that gives us a bit more budget. And when all these 4 ships complete, we'll have even more budget. So let's see what we can build with it. In terms of these ships, that's already got improved director. I could increase the Chin Tao from improved director to advanced director, but that's only an upgrade of 1 level director. So let's have a look at these Myokos instead. They've only got directors, so I think it will be more profitable to increase their armament. So we're going to do these in the USA because that gives us advanced director. If we did them at home, we'd only be able to have improved director, and we definitely want advanced director. So that's advanced director, increased aviation. Let's bump up these AA positions, and we'll get rid of the old torpedo mounts and give us our new torpedo mounts, which are better. And we can increase these a bit more. Oops, went a bit too far. Put directors on the secondary armament. Can we increase the quality of these? No, we can't. What about flight? They've already got an air capacity of 2. Now, our weight remaining is down. Well, now we've got aircraft carriers. That's probably not as important, so we could reduce that. And that looks to be everything. Let's do those. Yes. Yes. And so let's have a look. These will be finished next move, so when they're finished next move, we'll look at building some more ships. Zaharan has finished reconstruction. So has Potawatomi and Kashima and Katori. The USA is sounding us out about an alliance. That's an excellent idea. And now we've got some money, so let's see what we can build it on. We've got plenty of aircraft carriers, 4 CVLs and 1 CV. So we don't need aircraft carriers right this minute, but it would be very nice to have some battleships. I think that if you compare us with France, we've got 270 plus 56, so that's about 330 tons of battleships and battlecruisers. The French have got about 450 tons, so they're considerably ahead of us. So let's build some battleships. So our new battleship class is going to be similar to our existing ships. It's going to have 8 guns in forward and backward turrets, and they're going to be quad guns, so that gives us 8 guns altogether. If we go into Britain, we can build them with 6-inch guns of quality 0, but if we went to the USA, our guns would be quality -1. Another advantage of Britain is we can have better torpedo defences, and that's very important because we want our ship to still float after it's been torpedoed. So I'm going to build our next ships in Britain. And I'm going to build, they're going to be battleships as before, with our standard speed of 28 knots, which we build for all of them. They're going to have 2 aircraft. They don't need any more than 2 aircraft. We'll give them a catapult. We'll give them the advanced directors, and we'll bump up the weight so that all works. And we'll give them a bit of extra weight, 200, about 200. Because they've got 16-inch guns, we're going to call them Nagato, because the historical Nagato had 16-inch guns, and let's see if it likes that. Yes, it does. Right, so we'll be building some Nagatos. I don't know how many we can afford. Hopefully 2. We need this technology. Torpedo protection 4, temporary setback, not so good. We shouldn't get upset if the British spy on us, because we want to be on good terms with them. Chinto has finished working up. We've now got advanced director, so we could build a Nagato in Japan if we wanted to, but if we did, then we wouldn't have such good torpedo protection. So we're going to continue building it in Britain. So the British Hermes has got 35 aircraft, which is very low for a full aircraft carrier. In fact, it's only 1 more aircraft than a CVL. It's got 8 7-inch guns, which sounds ridiculous. It's not a very good design at all. It's very heavily armoured, which is a bit silly on an aircraft carrier. What they should have done is got rid of a lot of this armament, got rid of most of this armour, and they could probably have bumped up the aircraft to about 60 fairly easily. Anyway, our CA Mayor has finished reconstruction, so has Myoko. We need good guns. 18-inch guns, quality -1. I don't normally use 18-inch guns. They don't seem to work very well in the game. I tend to use the largest is 17-inch if I can get them. Yes, we need that. We always need technology. Okay, go to the build screen, and that's the Nagato. We need the best technology money can buy. Now, do we want to reduce finance for the Navy? That gives us prestige but less budget. That gives us less prestige. And that increases tension. Protest energetically. And now we're going to build another Nagato, and we're going to call it the Mutsu. And that means we're running out of money, but soon once that one's built, we'll have the money. Kagura's finished. Mention the importance of a strong navy because we need money. And we're a little bit in deficit, but not vastly. Let's see if there's any ships that we can put in mothballs. Yes, we can. We can put those two in mothballs, and we can put some ships in reserve as well. And that gives us some money, which is excellent. Bombers entering service, intelligence reports on Russia, they're building some ships. BC has got 9 inches of belt armour, which is not a lot, and 10 inches of turret armour. Okay, let's see what we've got under construction, these two Nagatos. I'm going to just do nothing for the next few moves, just to allow my battleships to become more constructed. Let's have a look in a minute to see what aircraft I can build. Torpedo technology, oxygen fuel torpedoes by all means. And let's look at aircraft types. Can we build? We can't build anything that we haven't already got. The oldest ship that we've got is a fighter, which is quite an old one now, so we definitely need new fighters. And they need to be fast and manoeuvrable. So we're going to upgrade all our aircraft one at a time, starting with the fighter. The Munchen has got 9 6-inch guns, which is a fairly decent armament. The dual-purpose secondary armament of 3-inch guns is a bit light because 3 inches, it could be better. It should be 4 or 5 really. That makes it much better. It's only got central firing, which is a bit pathetic for a new ship. They've got a new medium bomber and a new flying boat. Shall we go for the new flying boat? It's faster, it's longer range, and it's got heavier bombs. Yes, we will go for it. Right, now we've got some money. Let's have a look at our situation in terms of destroyers. We've got 79 destroyers, which is a lot more than anyone else. But can we build any better destroyers than we've already got? Let's have a look. So our new destroyer, the Gatori, has 8 4-inch guns in double mounts, and they're dual purpose, which means it's got very good capability against air and surface targets. It's got a very good anti-aircraft mount. It's got 8 torpedo tubes, and it's got lots of anti-submarine warfare capability with K guns, and it's also can lay mines. So that's a fairly good destroyer, and it's also 1 knot faster than our existing class of Fibusas. So we're going to build a few of those, and they're going to be built locally. Right. The French heavy cruiser, the Montcalm. Now this is important because they're probably going to be our next opponent. That's got 9 10-inch guns, so that's better than our heavy cruisers. It's got 14 5-inch guns, which is okay, I suppose. And it's got some 3-inch dual-purpose tertiary guns. The armour is not particularly thick; it's only 4.5 inches. Our 6-inch guns on our light cruisers will probably be able to penetrate that. But it's a fairly decent ship, and it's also very fast at 31 knots. Maybe we should be building some heavy cruisers. Right, so let's build some Gatoris. So we're now building 5 Gatoris, which is a good start on our new destroyers. Let's play the next turn. A major British shipyard wants to build another Nagato. Well, we'd very much like to, but we can't manage that within the budget. A colonial crisis of Great Britain has arisen. You are asked for recommendations. Well, they're building 2 of our ships, so we can't really afford to go to war with them. Safeguard our interests? No. Avoid a war right now? No. Not ready for war. That reduces tension, that's what we want. But it does increase budget as well, which is also very good. Triple turrets on CL. Improved 9-inch guns. Let's have a look at our aircraft types. Fighter request in progress still. And we've got some money, so let's build another destroyer. So we're building 2 more destroyers, and let's play the next turn. We've got hold of the blueprints for the Montcalm, which is a French CA. That's what we've just seen. Looks very familiar. Just seen that. Increase in submarine effectiveness. Let's have a look and see what our submarine position is. On the almanac, we've got 43 submarines and 0 buildings, so we've got more in service than anyone except Italy. France has only got 17. If we look at the number that we're building, we've got quite a few that are about halfway completed. So that may help us if there's a war. These are reasonably new ones. They're reliability 67, and our most modern ones built are 73, but they're 8 years old. Maybe we could build some more when we get some more money. So let's press on with the next move. By all means. Float plane scout is faster. It's got more range, yes. And so we've got good relations with America and Italy, poor relations with everyone else, and we want to go to war with France. Let's see how France is getting on. They've got 7 and 5, so they've got about 330 tons, which is the same as us now. We're building 2 new battleships. That will put us way ahead of them. And our 2 new battleships, let's have a look, are, I doesn't say on there, but they're both 16-inch guns. If we look at the French, the most they've got are 15-inch guns on these ships here. And they've got a few old ships with 12, 13, 14-inch guns. So nothing to fear from the French battle line, I don't think. Amphibious operations, motor landing craft, diving shells. Integral armor. New fighter prototypes, this is good. Right, maximum speed, they're all about the same. Toughness, that one's more manoeuvrable but less tough. So that's a bit like the historical Zero, which was a very manoeuvrable plane, but wasn't very tough, because they wanted to save weight on it. Right, okay, so let's see what else we can build now. So our oldest type of aircraft is the torpedo bomber, so let's build some of them. Now that's got a decent bomb load, and it's got a range that could be better. So let's increase its range, and then within that, we'll increase its. Actually, we'll make it a bit faster so that the enemy can't intercept it so easily. All right, let's go. There's been an internal upheaval in Samoa. Germany is sending a force there. Issue an ultimatum, push from an international force, or where's that? Let's have a look at the Germans. We're equal on battleships with them, but they're way, way ahead on battle cruisers. I don't really want to fight the Germans right now. We could possibly do it. We've got a CV and more CVLs than them. We could possibly do it. But I don't really want to fight the Germans, so Samoa, where is that? They've taken control of Samoa, which is here. New 15-inch guns, that's good. Let's look at our under construction. We've got our destroyers will complete in 9 moves. Machinery development. Rebellion in New Zealand. Yes, we'll sell shells to the Russians. Automated fuse setting. Deck lifts. Play another go. Shall we? Yes, we'll take them up on the offer. And we'll call this the GA8. What should we send on our world cruise? Newest ships, is prestige and tension. Average ships does nothing. Oldest ships reduces prestige, which we don't particularly care about, and increases budget. So I think it's going to be oldest ships. And with that budget, we'll build some destroyers. And so that's building us some new destroyers. We've got 10 building at the moment, 10 Gatori-class. Let's play the next move. New float plane scout is ready for service. And where are we? And torpedo bomber in request. Let's go. Torpedo bomber prototypes. Maximum speed 130. And they've all got the same bomb load. And range, that one's the best range, so we're going to go for that one. Excellent. And let's have a look to see what next aircraft we can get. So for our medium bomber, we want range. We want to increase our range, and we also want bomb load, because our existing bomb load, well, it can always be bigger, can't it? Can't have too big a bomb load. And our 2 battleships are approaching completion, as are some of these destroyers. New Zealand has defeated the British forces and is now independent. Unfortunately, you can't invade independent countries, which is a shame, because it would make the game a lot better. I think that's actually one of the main pitfalls with Rule the Waves 2 as it currently stands. There's a number of problems with invasions. The first problem is I've actually fixed this through a mod by increasing the invasion range, which I should probably discuss on the forum at some point. But the invasion range, as is built into the game, is quite small, and so you can't invade a lot of provinces. Even now, I can't invade any of these German ones. I can only just invade this American one. I can't invade this German one or these British ones. If the invasion range was larger, that would make invasions easier. Another problem with invasions is you don't actually get a great deal of extra money from the places you invade. So colonies aren't actually really worth a great deal. They're worth something in prestige value, but they're not worth a great deal in terms of value of monetary resources you get. If we look at the almanac, Japan, 500 from its colonies of its base resources of 32,000. So that's about 1.5%. Whereas historically, Japan's colonies were about 50% extra from its home country. So that was an extra 50% on its GDP. It's obviously very useful if you want to finance a big navy. The third problem with colonies and invasions is that you put an invasion up and it comes upon here when you're at war, but then it doesn't trigger for ages and ages, and then you keep getting messages to say, oh, can't invade because the enemy has got too much forces in the area, and there's no way out of that. The way the mechanics should work in that is that if the enemy does have forces in the area, you should be able to say, okay, invade them anyway, and if their forces are too big for you, well, then they can prove it by having a big battle and beating you in the battle and sinking all your ships. But anyway, I digress. Let's play the next move. Right, 4 destroyers are commissioned. Excellent. That gives us some extra money. Do we want to build destroyers? We've got 83 destroyers and another 6 buildings. That would give us 89. I think I'm going to build a few more destroyers for now. And I'm also going to build 3 fleet submarines, because I'm looking to build submarines, because I don't have as many as I would like. So, next priority is going to be submarines. 2 destroyers commissioned. Do we want this technology? Yes, we do. Bulbous bow. New German torpedo bomber. Here's our aircraft development medium bomber request in progress. Oh look, we've got some money, let's build submarines. Friendship de Tourville looks very much like the British G3 class. So it's got 9 16-inch guns, which is good. 14 5-inch guns, which is meh. And it's got a speed of 29 knots, which is good. It's got okay armour of 12.5-inch and 4.5-inch deck armour. The armour's okay, but not wonderful. And it's got an advanced director. So that's a good ship. It's roughly equivalent to our Nagato's. It's got an extra 16-inch gun, roughly equivalent. Ah, the new naval secretary has read a book on naval strategy. Well, that's where he went wrong, isn't it? Shouldn't read books. You might get ideas into your head. He wants 8 new cruisers. I will not let the Navy be micromanaged. Well, that reduces my budget, so I'm not going to do that. We do not need that many cruisers, but we could build the half that number. Or we could say, of course, sir. I'm going to go with this one because it gives me more budget. And even if I don't build the cruisers, the budget doesn't get taken away. Although I do get a prestige hit. So I'm going to do, of course, sir, here. And I better start. Oh, and now we've got torpedo protection 4. That's excellent. It's come just in time. Excellent. And I've just noticed that I've not been increasing the dock size, so let's increase the docks. And looking at our cruisers, we need heavy cruisers more than we need light cruisers. We need to build 8 of them. We can't build 8 heavy cruisers, so I'll probably build 2 heavy and 6 light. So, design ship. Nagato-class heavy cruisers. I'm going to max out the main armament with 2 turrets forward and 2 turrets back, each with 4 guns, so that's 16 guns. They're going to be 9-inch caliber because our 10-inch guns aren't very good. Secondary armament is going to be 4-inch guns, and I'm going to have 16 of those, and they're going to be dual purpose, so they're good against aircraft. So I've got a decent anti-aircraft factor. I'm going to max out our anti-aircraft capability and anti-aircraft directors. Maximise the torpedo defence, and we're going to have a 7-inch belt, which is defends us against 6-inch shells, and 2-inch deck and turret top. So that's our new heavy cruiser, the Kako. And we also need to build a light cruiser, so let's build a light cruiser. So our light cruiser, the Agano, is going to be quite well armoured. It's going to be 3-inch armour on the belt, but that's going to be magazine box only, because it is a light cruiser and we're strapped for weight and also cost. It's going to have a displacement of 6,100 tonnes. The speed of 30 knots is okay, but nothing special. 2 torpedo defence, adequate if it gets hit by a torpedo. It's only got 6 6-inch guns, which is nothing wonderful. It's got a decent secondary armament of 12 4-inch guns, and they're dual purpose. Unfortunately, I can't have a director for those yet. And it's got some decent anti-aircraft guns. In fact, we can bump that up a bit. And it's got 6 torpedo tubes, and it also carries some mines. And that seems to be happy, so let's build those. And they will complete fairly soon, which is good because we've got some money in the bank, and these battleships and destroyers will complete soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if I can put anything in reserve or mothballs. In fact, put everything in reserve. Right, that saves us a bit of money. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can afford these, because otherwise we're going to run out of money. Medium bomber prototypes. That's the fastest and has got the longest range. They've all got roughly the same bomb load, so I'm going to go for that one. Right. We need that technology, and it seems a reasonable price. Yes. Lightweight materials, new torpedo bomber. Latest design, the Agano. Now we're going to build 6 light cruisers and 8 heavy cruisers. Actually, I think I'll build 5 and 3. So we're going to build 5 of these. So we've got 5 light cruisers building. That's puts us into some massive deficit. Let's play the next go. Reducing naval spending. You bastard Parliament. We just wanted that just at this time. Cunts. Right, new ship Nagato has been built in Britain. and it's given us valuable insights. That's good. Valuable insights into ship design. Nagato commissioned. We need good guns. Yes, of course we do. Second directive for CL. 1 month after we start our ships. Oh well, never mind. And we can now build the Cacos, and we're going to need to build 3 of those, which we can't afford, but let's see what happens. So we're now building a load of ships, and we've got a massive deficit, most of which will be cleared when some of these ships are built. So let's do that. New medium bomber. That's a French medium bomber. Mutsu is commissioned. Now, we don't want conflict with Britain, so offer full compensation and make a public apology. And that's our monetary situation is a little bit better now. And we're receiving much praise for building the requested number of cruisers. Mind you, it would have been a lot better if instead of praise, the Parliament had given us enough funds. Well, I suppose you can't have everything you want. Still in deficit. There is no doubt in my mind which nation's behind this lowly deed. It's France! Yes! And we're at war with France. Excellent. War has broken out between Japan and France. Surprise attack. Available carriers will move to area. We can't really do that because we don't have none of our ships are ready, unfortunately, because everything's in reserve and we don't have aircraft on our aircraft carriers, etc. So we're going to have to decline. Oh well, never mind. So let's have a look at our air groups. We'll put everything here active, and we need to auto add aircraft for these because all our aircraft carriers need aircraft, so that's good. Now we need to mobilise and activate all air bases as well. Yes, and that puts us in massive deficit, which we kind of expected. We can actually, I think we're not going to end up building half these. We're going to scrap that. Why won't it scrap it? Will not allow scrapping ships under construction at this time. You bastard. Okay, we'll just have to hold construction. And that makes our deficit a little bit better. Submarines, where are we for submarines? We want to build all these, but we can't yet because we don't have anywhere near the money. So, well, we'll just have to accept that we don't have much in the way of money, won't we? Anyway, that's the end for this episode. This was episode 13 of Rule the Waves 2 Let's Play Japan. And we're at war with France, and I've no idea how this war's going to go. And that's me signing off, Kabalama, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next episode.